What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Tarun's Thoughts. My name's Tarun Shetty. These are my thoughts. Hope you guys are doing well. Doing fantastic, people. I mean, what is it, Wednesday? I had to think about that for a moment. Hope you guys are having a good week. I'm here readjusting to Los Angeles. Readjusting as in trying to just get moving through this strike. I did this show last night in San Clemente, which was about 2.5 hours from my house. 2.5. And then an hour and a half back. It was a lot of driving. And, you know, the guy just got me on the show. He was, hey, I have an opening spot you can open. I used to headline that show when I was Bobby Khan, and I was like, I'll just take anything at this point. So, well, let me just say this. So I was driving down, and I was so excited to do this spot. It was, you know, I worked at this really good job years ago, but it was a really demanding job. And they offered me this weekend in La Jolla at the Comedy Store, right? And I was trying to break into the Comedy Store here in LA, so I didn't want to say no to it. I remember telling my boss I have this family event on Friday, and I took that Friday off, and I drove to La Jolla. And I remember just driving and feeling free. I remember like, oh God, I just feel such a relief not being in that office and just gonna go do comedy for the weekend. Like somebody said this recently. He said, do you think I'd want to do stand-up if I didn't have a choice, right? Because there's so much shit that goes along with it. And I just remember driving down to do that gig. And honestly, that gig wasn't even that great, but like I did it and I just felt like, hey, it was cool to do stand-up out of town. And then I went back to my job on Monday again. I just felt like I was in a prison. Anyways, I cut to last night. I'm driving to this show, and I just felt so good to drive, even though it was 2.5 hours away, and the money was shit, by the way. But I was like, I just want to perform. So I'm driving. I'm feeling good, and taking out. I used to just destroy that room as Bobby Khan. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. I forgot it's in this bar show, and I'm always used to closing the show, and when I close it, it's always like packed. But I guess, there was no host. It was me pretty much hosting, and just I was going up first, doing like 20 minutes, and it was like half full. Like people really weren't warmed up, and it was really hard. Like I was going through my jokes like a machine, but I was like, dude, this is not fun. I'm working right now to get this crowd going, and I got him going, but it was just like, dude, really? And funny, the headliner, the guy who's headlining, this guy named Keith Nelson, funny guy, he does a lot of cruise ships, but he was actually at the Comedy Store with me back in 2010. Like we were both going through the grinder. We would do these 1 a.m. spots, 2 a.m. spots. For years we did this, trying to break into that club, and neither of us passed that club. And I was like, isn't this funny, dude? Like what a moment in time that was. Like, at least I got to know Keith, and it was just cool seeing him. And he'll go back to doing his cruise ships, whatever, and I'll go back to doing whatever I'm doing. But I remember just sitting in that club, like watching Keith at like 11 o'clock. I'm in San Clemente. I'm just surrounded by like these, San Clemente's, pretty much white trash people. It's blue collar people. I don't say white trash. Blue collar, good people. But I remember I was just sitting there. I was like, dude, what am I doing here? If I could have seen myself 25 years ago, like sitting in this shitty bar or whatever, opening, not even headlining, I'm opening, and I'm just working, and then I had to drive back, and I was just really down. I was like, well, at least I got footage out of this, so I can post it in my Instagram and stuff. I come home and like my audio died or something, so I didn't record. There's like no audio, and I was like, oh man, I didn't even get any audio out of this. It was just another show that nobody saw. Today, just don't do anything. Just relax and just do your shit. No pressure. But I heard Todd Barry, who's a comic, well-known New York comic, he goes, there's a big difference between your first show and your 10,000th show. And this is just another show. And I had to put it in perspective. I was like, this is just another show. It's not make or break time. It's just another show, and sometimes it's a job. Sometimes comedy's a job, and you go through the motions. And for many people in LA, it's they're actors, they're influencers, and they do this for fun. Sometimes if you really want to get better at this, if you really are serious about it, it's a job, and you you do these horrible gigs sometimes. I mean, honestly, I don't think Gabriel Iglesias is doing. I just saw a video where Gabriel Iglesias was like, "Yeah, I turned down $200,000 to do a birthday party." Like, he says no to these gigs, but I'm not in a position to say no to gigs, especially coming back to LA. And I was like, I'll run this till the wheels fall off the train. I'll just keep going until I can't go no more. And I just put in perspective, and today's a new day, and I was like, well, at least I can make a vlog out of this, and I can tell my YouTube channel my thoughts. But it was fine. Nothing to brag about. The guy was like, "Oh, I'll bring you back." And I was like, "I don't really care, dude. Like, you have no power over me whatsoever." That's the thing, like these bookers and stuff. I feel the most at peace when I tell myself I don't have to be anybody. I don't have to be this comedy star. I don't have to be this anything. I think that's where we get tripped up, right? These expectations for ourselves of what we have to be. And I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I'm not struggling with money, or I don't have any messy relationships going on right now. So yeah, I'm fine. And I was like, another day. Let's move, baby. So I'm gonna go to the gym, try to run it off, and the journey continues, my friends. I hope you guys have a great week. We'll talk soon. Take care.